Hello and welcome to another retro Gran Turismo review with Ness, and for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, basically one of the perks that I offer to people who decide to very generously support me here on the channel is to create and craft, and if you want to, even host your own videos here on the channel every month, and that is exactly what this video is, a throwback of course to Gran Turismo 2 once again. So if that's something that might interest you, or you just want to check out the perks in general, you can find all of those via the Patreon link right down in the video description. So if you would like to support the channel and have some fun crafting your own videos at the same time, check that out, and for now of course, over to Ness.
Greetings from my bedroom. Welcome to episode 111 of GT Masters, in episode 2 of the Gran Turismo 2 licensed prize car reviews. We took a look at the Dodge Copperhead last time. Now it's the turn of the Mitsubishi GTO, 3000 GT LM. Okay, just to clear things out of the way, this was called the GTO LM in Gran Turismo 1 and the 3000 GT LM in Gran Turismo 2. I like Gran Turismo 1 more than 2, and GTO sounds cooler even though it's overused, so I'll just refer to it as a GTO LM from now on. Whew. Also, this is one of 2 GTO race cars in Gran Turismo 2. This one is based on the 2nd generation GTO, technically called the Z15A or Z16A, but there's also a 3rd generation GTO LM, the Z15AM. That one is easier to get, but still rather tedious, being the prize car for winning the Laguna Seca Endurance and getting a 50-50 chance of winning it, where you can also get the Toyota Celica rally car, the fictional one based on the last generation Celica. That was a lot of info in a short amount of time, so let's get back on track. Now, the Mitsubishi GTO in its standard form is a very popular car in Gran Turismo 1. In fact, it might just be the most popular street car in a game, alongside a Nissan R33 Skyline and a Dodge Viper. It's not hard to see why. Gran Turismo 1 marketed the GTO very heavily in its intro and the game as a whole, and it was very good. One of the most powerful, if not the most powerful car in the game fully tuned, leading to insane straight line potential. And it's very easy to drive on the whole due to its heavy steering. Combine the two, as well as the fact that the GTO in real life isn't among the most popular JDM cars, and you get a cult favorite amongst Gran Turismo 1 fans like myself. Personally, the GTO, especially the 1st generation with the pop-up headlights, has really grown on me, largely because of how wholesome its fanbase is. I even drove one for my Route 11 lap guide since I love how synonymous it is with that game. It arriving in GT Sport also helped. But then we get to the race car. It's an obvious choice of Mitsubishi to get a race car treatment. It's powerful, it's technologically advanced, and its shape allows for a very good choice for race car conversions. It also doubles as a purchasable race car in Gran Turismo 1, joining cars such as the NSX GT2 and Impreza Rally Edition for costing 500,000 credits. That gives the GTO LM in Gran Turismo 2 a major disadvantage when comparing the two, because this iteration is won by golding all the International C license. Camaro at blind corner section, anyone? So just like last time, you have to go through lots of frustration just to get one car, and a huge problem for the picky people in particular is this car and the next 2 cars come in 2 colors, silver and yellow in the case of this car. So if you want one or the other, you have to find the easiest test to gold and constantly try to gold that license while also saving beforehand just to get that one color. Now with the other 2 cars, this isn't as big of an issue, as they have rally tests, which are the easiest tests in the game to gold. Going back to this car however, all of this is setting up for a big disappointment of a race car in Gran Turismo 2. And unfortunately it is. It's not very good. It's not bad, I must stress. It's just that it's not as fast as it should be around the track. One of the biggest problems with this car in this game, ironically, is the power that it's got. 612 horsepower is what it's working with. The problem with this power is that it's not so high that it can wipe the floor with AI opponents, but also it's too high that it can't compete in races that limit the horsepower to 591, which is the case in plenty of races that must include an IA license. This brings it to by far the biggest problem with this car by a long shot, the weight. It's 1280 kilograms. That was literally the heaviest race car in Gran Turismo 1, even heavier than the Toyota Chaser LM, and in this game, it's an even bigger issue thanks to a horsepower limit. And just like in Gran Turismo 1, you can feel every bit of weight holding back the GTO LM. Its only advantage is its straight line performance, especially off the line. In fact, in the previous game, it was actually one of the fastest race cars in the max speed challenge. 2.3 seconds to 60, 9.4 to 400 meters, and 17.1 to 1000. That gives the GTO LM an advantage in some races like this one here at Super Speedway, as well as some other tracks such as, say, Rome Circuit. Not a test course though, because HKS. Apart from that, however, it's not worth it. If you want a GTO race car, you're honestly better off doing the Laguna Seca 200 miles race. You can even cheese that race by racing out of bounds in the Escudo and not worry about changing tires. Heck, you're better off grabbing the GTO from the Mitsubishi dealership and tune up that car in the Puma racing modifications to win races with that. This one is just for collectors and that's it. It was already my least favorite race car in Gran Turismo 1. Yes, even lower than the Chaser LM. And while I ironically like it more here, thanks to the heavy steering complementing Gran Turismo 2's slidey physics, it's still not good all things considered. I do have to emphasize, however, that just because I don't like this car doesn't mean that I have the same opinion with the road car. It's a great choice of JDM car that many people overlook largely because of its weight, even though it's heavy for a good reason. I just feel that if they wanted to make a racing version of this car, they had to cut down the weight tenfold to make it more competitive for racing. Because there are some race cars based on very heavy road cars that is still very competitive. See Bentley Continental Gt3. As far as this car goes, it's no wonder they ditched the GTO race car on the whole in favor of the FTO race cars, since they are much better in every sense of the word. Again, this isn't bad. If you love the GTO/3000 GT, go for it, but don't expect to win races with it easily. But as always, this is Ness Pajamas saying, fluffy pillows.